Hello everyone, Snarky Arts here with another Dredd costuming tutorial. Today I'll be modifying the leather next boots with the armor accessories from Ball's Props. I'll provide a link to both Ball's Props and leather necks in the description below. I also like to give a big shout out to Gearbox Leather, who helped me out tremendously with the initial attaching of the buckles to the boots. Unfortunately, I didn't have a good opportunity to film that process, but I did get some work in progress pictures, and I'll provide a link to that album as well as Gearbox Leather's site in the description below as well. So without further ado, let's get started. I begin by trimming the excess rubber flash from the parts and roughing up the inside surfaces with 100 grit sandpaper in order to give the glue some good texture to bite into. After scuffing all of the parts, I cleaned them off camera in order to remove any dust I created as well as any mold release that might have remained behind on the part. To color the toe caps, I'm using heavy-bodied emerald green acrylic paint applied with an old t-shirt in a dabbing motion. I simply apply light layers until I achieve the color I'm looking for. This paint doesn't bond to the rubber particularly well, so it will be easy to get natural scuffing look as I wear the boots at conventions. My glue of choice for this project was IC2000 rubberized crazy glue. While holding the heels in place, I test fit it dry, then I trace a light pencil edge around the heel. I then darken the pencil line with the part removed to give myself better visibility. Using the same 100 grit sandpaper as before, I gently scuff the surface of the leather, being careful to stay within the lines. Once this is completed on both boots, I clean the surface with acetone. If you aren't working outside, be sure you're in a well-ventilated area and have a fan nearby. The heel is given a liberal application of the rubberized glue and held in place, and then given a quick spray of CA glue accelerant. This stuff will save you a ton of time, and I highly recommend it. The toe caps are also test fitted dry to determine which set of toes fits better on each boot. I then trim away any raised area that seems to be interfering with a good seat. Then, the toe caps are given the same treatment as the heels in the exact same sequence. I would also recommend keeping some paper towels handy when working with the rubberized glue in case you get some minor drips when applying the parts. With the shift guards, I took a slightly different approach with the glue. After cleaning them in the same manner as the previous two parts, I ran a single bead of glue along the bottom edge only and let the boot dry. This way I had the part anchored so I could get a tighter wrap around the rest of the boot with fewer wrinkles. Once this was held in place, I went back to address any high points or bulges that remained in the shift guard. The shins, which I had previously assembled last year as part of my costume, are held in place with Chicago screws inserted through the pre-installed eyelets in the boots. I also added rubber washers on either side of the eyelet before securing the screws in place with blue Loctite. Once the shin was secured, I added the lower strap through the retainer, and the boot was now completely assembled and ready for weathering. Here we see the finished boots in all their glory, ready to get dirty.